Hey, Shalom, brothers. Sakad Lamad, man up Jacob. Give all praise and honor to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and honors to you, brothers, that are out there defending the gospel. And I had something that's been on my mind as of late, real strong. It's been heavy on my mind. So it's been real heavy on my mind for the past couple weeks. Is basically the times we're living in. We all know, us being in the truth, that we are in the last days, according to all the signs that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai gave us in the scriptures. Alright? And we all know that when the so-called white man brings the hammer down, who is Esau, Edom, in the Bible? We all know that when he brings the hammer down, he's going to bring about martial law across the whole country, or at least across most of the country, all right, especially in major cities. So we all know in that time that we're going to have to basically make a run for it, all right? We're going to have to get out of Dodge, so to speak, all right? Because the cities are not going to be the place you want to be when that time comes, all right? And I was talking with a brother not too long ago about this on the phone, and basically when that time comes, we're gonna have to get our minds wrapped around the fact that, for one, all these comforts. I mean, here I'm sitting in bed, tomorrow I gotta go to work, so I'm just sitting in bed before I go to sleep doing this audio, and we're not going to have all these comforts, being able to sit in bed, being able to have a refrigerator, food all up in the refrigerator, and a fan, you know what I'm saying, TV, all that. We're going to have to pick up and get out of Dodge, and Lord willing, brothers can get somewhere safe. And of course, if Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is with you, you'll be all right. But the point I'm making here is we're going to have to you got to get your mind right for that time period that's coming, all right? Because we know it's real near, all right? At any moment, hell, tomorrow is the Super Bowl, and what if there's a terrorist attack at the Super Bowl, and the cities go into lockdown, the whole country goes into lockdown, you got to be prepared for something like that to happen. But I want to go ahead and read this in Luke 21, and I'm going to read quite a few verses. This is Luke 21 verse 20, and it says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too." All right, now we know that this in history happened going back to around 70 AD, when Jerusalem was seized, all right, by the Romans, in particular by Titus and Vespasian. All right, but that time, a key thing to look at that time was that's not too long after who was on the scene, Yahweh Shai. All right, that's that's what, a little over 30 years after he was on the scene. So it's about the same time period as when the Lord was on the earth. And guess what? We're here at this same time period as when the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to make his return. So you're going to see all these same signs. Now, we are Jerusalem, all right? Speaking of the brothers out there that are going and preaching in the highways and the byways, we're spiritually Jerusalem. And guess what? When you go to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, it says there's going to be a great insurrection upon them that fear the Lord. So they're going to come after brothers that are in the truth, all right? And a lot of brothers more than likely live in the inner cities and urban areas. So time periods coming, we're going to pick up and get out, and Lord willing, we're all able to be safe at that point in time. All right, verse 22, it says, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people." All right, and that's plain. If you have children, it's going to be a pretty hard deal. I mean, it's a show that's on what's that show? A&E? Is it A&E or AMC? I believe it is. The Walking Dead. All right. And if you're familiar with that show, you saw, of course, it's about zombies, which is fictional, but you saw the decisions that people were having to make, that group was having to make, especially concerning their children, because they had children they had to worry about. All right. So when there's martial law on the streets, when there's food shortages, all right, when you gotta worry about, you don't know where you're gonna lay your head that night. You don't know if you're even gonna wake up the next morning, and you got a kid to worry about on top of that. It's gonna be a hellified time. All right. Verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive unto all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, which with perplexity, and the seas and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, that's how you know that this is talking about this end times too, because that's when the Son of Man is going to come in power and great glory. When you go to Zechariah 9, chapter and the 9th verse, speaking of 2,000 years ago, it said that he will come lowly. Behold, our King cometh lowly upon an ass's coat. All right. But this right here in Luke 21, verse 27 says he's going to come in a cloud and with power and great glory. All right. And we all know that through the chariots, which the so-called white man calls UFOs, is the exact way and the exact vehicle upon which the Lord is going to make his return. All right. Verse 28, and it says, when these things shall begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And he spoke to them a parable. Behold the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye shall see and know of your own selves that the summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. What are all those signs? Wars, rumors of wars, uproars of the people, earthquakes in diverse places. All right, all that is coming to pass. Mentioned in this chapter is mentioned in Matthew the 24th chapter as well. Right. Verse 20. Verse 32. Luke 21, verse 32, and it says, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. That's the point I want to key on. All right, we gotta get our minds right for this hell that's coming on earth. All right, because every time I look on the internet, if I look on social media or videos, World Star Hip Hop, anywhere on the net or just out in the world in general, everybody is concerned with what the hell they got going. They're not even paying attention to the signs that show that we're in the end time. They're too worried about partying or buying some new clothes or showing the world what they did that day and telling everybody about it. All right, going to the club. All right, trying to impress some females. All right, just whatever vices they're into it 100%. All right, we got to be of the opposite mindset. We got to have our mindset on the end time and trying to get ourselves right, so that when the Yahushua makes his return, that we may be deemed worthy. All right. Verse 35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And that's the point, all right? That's the point of this whole deal. That was the point of this little audio or video, whatever you want to call it. We got to get our minds right, pray, All right, and Lord willing, we could be accounted worthy to pass through and make it out on the other side of this hell that's coming, and then inherit the kingdom of earth. All right. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying to whoever was watching. Shalom.